Alright, I'm out here on Leech Lake. Just launched. First attempt at smallmouth bass here. Gonna throw a jerk bait, maybe a drop shot, Ned rig. See if we can find them. Hooked up. Nice fish. Really nice fish. Beautiful. Oh, we got her. We're gonna be quick about this. "12 feet of water off the side of a reef. They haven't moved up onto the reef yet. Water's only 47 degrees. What a beauty though. Took a little looking around to find that one, but in a little bit. I want to get her back quick. Beauty fish. Put this girl back. Look at that. What special fish, huh? 5-10 years ago, you couldn't catch many of these in Leech Lake at all. There was just a few. Got a few more now, and they're more widespread. Biting on my thumb. There she goes. It's really pretty good fishery now. Fish are more widespread. You can catch them all over the lake, and there's some nice fish. The population's still got a lot of room to grow, so if we can take care of those big ones and put them back, it's going to be a great fishery in the future. There's one. Good fish. Taking drag. Coming up. Yes. Wow, is this fun. That extra long pause right now with the colder water is kind of the deal. It's hard to force yourself to do it. Seems like if you just wait that extra second or two, can get the strike. Got her. Got her. Wow, what beautiful fish, huh? What chunky, beautiful fish. Look at that thing. All right, we're gonna get this one back in a hurry. Just look at that, huh? Woo, beauties. Beauties. Right, girl. Make lots of babies. So much fun. So much fun. Backlash. I'm getting excited. Pretty easy to backlash after you catch a couple fish like that. You get all excited and you want to really zing it out there. Pause. 1, 2, 3. Pause. 1, 2. Pause. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Pause, pause, pause. I always do one really long pause when I get it within about 30 feet of the boat too, just to give them one last chance to poop or get off the pot. I like a spinning rod with a jerk bait too. 10-pound test is about right. 10 or 12, 8 to 12. 8's a little light as far as I'm concerned, just because you're stressing your knots pretty hard when you're jerking these things. There we go. Solid fish, solid bite. Whoa. Oh. Woo. Woo. Yeah. Oh, what a beast. What a beast. This might be the biggest one yet. Oh, yes. So much fun. Oh, just gonna switch colors. Okay, wow. Wow. Holy smokes. Pig number 3. Going back here. Amazing. Love everything about these fish. That one just hit like a ton of bricks. I was about to switch colors. That pink is my favorite for pink or orange for like a search bait. But once you find them and catch a few, sometimes after you catch a few, they wise up and you have to go to more of a natural color. So it's just getting ready to retie, but we'll try this one for a few more casts and I'm gonna go more natural if it doesn't work. All right, we're gonna try the Mega Bass Vision 110. You know, you don't have to use a $25 jerk bait to catch smallies, but I really like how these suspend. And I got rid of the snap because it was all bent up. These things will ruin a snap. Actually broke the hook, the back hook too, on that X-Wrap, so. Throw this in there and see if I can get a few bonus fish on it. Again, these fish are in 8 to 12 feet right now, off the edge of some of these main lake rock reefs, and most of these main lake rock reefs have smallmouth on them, as do some of the rockier areas in the smaller bays too. They're starting to show up. But in another couple of weeks, maybe a week, depending on water temps and everything else, these fish will move up on top of these reefs and start to do their thing, spawning behavior. I typically like to leave them alone when they're on beds, when they're up really, really shallow. I mean, unless I've got a kid in the boat that just really needs to catch a fish, we might try to catch 1 or 2 bedding fish, but by and large, I don't like to sit and beat them up. They don't really bite that well. You kind of have to slow way down, put finesse stuff in their face and kind of just annoy them into biting. To me, it's just not not all that sporting when they're up shallow on their beds, but as long as we've got temps, cool temps like this, they're pre-spawn, these females, as long as you take care of them, they can be kind of bunched up. So really fun bite right now. Won't last long. And then after the females will be up, drop their eggs in a couple of weeks, and then they'll be pushed back out a little deeper too. Of course, the males guard the nests, and you can catch them on practically anything, piece of chewing gum. But again, I'd rather leave those nest guarders alone, and we'll come after them again. We'll have a few more days of this, and then we'll come after them again in a few weeks when they're post-spawn. The females kind of recuperate out in a little bit deeper water, and then they start feeding up a little bit again. So yeah, we hit them pre-spawn, we hit them post-spawn. Not too, I like to kind of leave them alone if I can during the spawn. It's a good time then to go after largemouth. So we'll be throwing swim baits and swim jigs for largemouth here when the smallmouth start bedding. So far the Vision 110 is a no-go. Tempted to go back to that pink, but I think before I do that I might throw a tube in there. Most of my bites have been coming way at the end of the cast here, so I think I need to just slide over a little bit, see if there's any more. There's one. Sometimes you just have to talk about switching baits or leaving the spot. Whoa. Another good one. Another good one. Here we are, middle of the day, which is actually a full moon on right now, so the walleyes and everything else have been biting better in the middle of the day, so it's no surprise that the smallmouths are bitey right now, moon underfoot on a full moon. We pay a lot of attention to that when we're musky fishing, but once in a while, seems to affect all these fish. There we go. Oh, yes. Woo-hoo! On the Vision 110. Went a little more natural and picking up a few extra bites. Right, I'll let this one go. You can see the bait floating there. No, you don't have to use a $25 jerk bait to catch smallmouth, but those cast really well, and as long as there's no pike around, why not? Oh, beauts. Do that again. Be fun to switch around, throw a tube, a drop shot, and see what these fish would eat, but man, are they eating the jerkbait well. That's 4 fish on about 20 casts now, so you can't argue with it. They don't hate it. They don't hate the jerkbait right now. Or you could say they do hate it and they're mad at it. Either way. You get my point. I've got a tube tied on, I've got a drop shot tied on. Be Careful not to figure eight like that. People think you're musky fishing, right? Again, 47-degree water. These are not spawning fish. We've got a week or two to go for that. Sometimes you can find them bunched up. They kind of stage a little bit, like crappies or anything else. Staging just a little bit deeper water, waiting for the water to warm up a few clicks before they cruise the shallows. No doubt some of them will get up on top and cruise in the evenings when the water's a little warmer and stuff like that, warm up, but definitely one of my favorite bites of the year. Wasn't that long ago we had to wait until June to fish for bass, or Memorial Weekend. This is sure a treat. As long as we take care of them, I don't see a problem. Looking forward to throwing some finesse stuff this summer, trying to track these fish down in the summertime too. A lot easier to catch in May and June, but you can catch them year round. You just have to do your homework a little bit more as the season goes on. Use your electronics a little bit more. Get a little deeper. Get close to the boat. I'm going to give it that long pause here. Maybe a little tap once in a while. Pregnant pause. That last one hit right as I was getting close to the boat, and I gave it a little extra pregnant pause there, and looks like a ton of bricks. Actually, that last fish was hooked in the chin, which you know, is fairly common with smallmouth, because with the jerk bait, a lot of times if they're just not quite fired up enough, they'll just kind of bump them or run into them when they're sitting there, just to try to get a little reaction out of them, and you'll hook them. But the first three, well, the first one ate it almost too deep. It was choked it. The second two were hooked just on the back hook, so they were just coming up and nipping at it. And then that one, I think, just bumped it and caught it in the chin. So you just have to imagine one's just kind of tracking it all the time and try some different things to see what could trigger. There's something about that X-Trap too, that little feathered tail. I don't know, I may end up going back to that and just a more natural color. I like that white feathered tail. I feel like instead of bumping it, they come up and they just nip at that feather sometimes. Haven't seen any followers yet. A lot of times in cold water they'll follow a jerk bait in, but let's try the all right, so this is a little big bite bait, 1/4 ounce tube head jig, and then I've got a little 2.5 inch tube, kind of a green pumpkin red flake. Could be a shiner, could be a crayfish, right? Let that marinate out there a little bit, so that'll pop settle, pop. It's kind of the deal. Sometimes you can just swim it a little bit or drag it. I like to give it a pop, pop. Let it float back down. Pop, pop. It's pretty rocky. I might get snagged up, but see if we can pick up a fish on the tube. I'm just kind of, oh, that was rocks. At times, largemouth and smallmouth pre-spawn really pig out on crayfish. There's something about it. These fish out here are eating shiners and perch and everything else, but there are days when it's got to be a crayfish pattern. Year round, obviously, but that little bit of red pre-spawn is always something to try. Mr. Loon over here. Seeing some balls of shiners and stuff like that, so. Loons eat crayfish too, right? Loons eat the same thing as walleyes and smallmouth, so never be afraid to fish around loons. That's a good omen usually, good sign. I almost always start with moving baits. These Leech Lake fish aren't so highly pressured that you have to drop the shot every single one of them. And we've got a lot of water without smallmouth, so you can cover water, pick off a few fish. If you catch one, just keep throwing back in there with your moving baits until that quits. And then that's the time to kind of slow down and drag and shake. Chuck and wind, and then when that doesn't work, drag and shake. Might have to go back to the jerkbait though. There's something magic about it this time of year. All right, my GoPro died. Batteries are all dead. Anyway, no excuse for that, but when you're making a video. But I got one to munch a tube. Pretty sweet fish on a tube. No way to get the GoPro going, but I still have my phone, right? We'll give you the highlights here anyway. Just another, this is probably the smallest one today, 18.5 inches or so. Been just catching a ton of 19s, 19 3/4. Just 4 to 5 pound smallmouth. All right, we're gonna put her back. I'll show you that because it's such a lovely sight. She's gone. I'm gonna throw this tube a little while longer. I'll keep you posted. All right. Number 2 on the tube. Lost track now. That's the smallest fish. They're getting smaller. That's okay. We're about to go to another reef, but chowed the tube. What is that, about 6 or 7 now? I lost track, but that's number 2 on the big bite tube, the 2.5, the little tube. I'm sure they'd eat the big tube too, but put her back. Let's get another one. Hooked up again on the tube. Took about 3 casts. There's a pile of fish out here. They're getting smaller, I think. Still nice fish. Smaller ones on the tube. I don't know if there's a correlation. Maybe I should try that jerkbait again. See if they get any bigger. I don't mind them. Man, do they fight. Hooked up again on the tube. That one was right underneath the boat when it hit. That was cool. I'll fight him from my knees so I can talk here. Wow, what a chunky one. This one's a little bit better than the last two. Yeah. How's that? Silly bite today. I love these pre-spawn smallmouth. Doesn't last long though. Doesn't last long at all. That one was hooked just underneath the lips. One thing they do with these tubes, they think it's a crayfish, anything crayfish looking, they'll actually nose down. I'm gonna put this one back quick. Look at the stripes on her. That tube's popping along the bottom, and a smallmouth will actually come and just try pinning it to the bottom and actually hit that crayfish a couple times and stun it. And so that's why you hook a few of them just right underneath the mouth. But 'cause they're actually trying to kill it rather than put it in their mouth. They're not ready to put it in their mouth yet. Let's get another one. Hooked up. Reef number 2, I'm hooked up. Feels like a heavy fish. Feels like the heaviest fish all day. This hook's weird. Not super big, but a nice fish. Oh yeah. Just another nice one. Hit like a ton of bricks. I thought maybe it was a true monster. Just a nice one. 18 and a half, I suppose, something like that. Not a bad smallmouth. I'm gonna get it back. Moved a couple miles down the lake and tried some different spots here. That one hit the jerk bait again. Went back to the X-Wrap. Seems to be producing better than anything, and the size is good. Hooked up again. And these things pull. Not totally tangled in the net, so I'll show you the bait. Beauty. So many solid fish. Just beautiful. I'll put her back. Whew! No fun at all. Hooked up again on the jerkbait. I think it's a smaller one. It's not real small. not real small at all. Just a nice little guy. Fought hard. Get him back. Hooked up again on the jerkbait. It's a toad. It's a real good one. How's that one? Beautiful. Put her back. Hooked up again, acrobatic one here. Smashed the jerkbait again. Spot number 3 today. Wow, is this fun. Not a bad one at all. Look at that. I just wish I had clients today. This would be a sleigh fest. Wish you were here.